When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to Hollow Bastion for the third visit, the world begins to feel bigger than just another stop on their journey. Up until now, Hollow Bastion has been a rebuilding world. Leon, Yuffie, Aerith, Sid, Merlin, and the others have been trying to restore the town after everything that happened in Kingdom Hearts 1. They formed the Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee, rebuilt parts of the city, and worked to protect their home from Heartless and Nobodies. But during this visit, Hollow Bastion becomes the center of the entire Kingdom Hearts 2 story. This is the visit where Sora begins to learn the truth about Ansem, Organization XIII, the Nobodies, and the real reason the organization wants him to keep fighting. The visit begins when Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive back in Hollow Bastion and run into Cloud in the marketplace. Cloud is still searching for Sephiroth, his dark rival. This is not the main focus of the visit, but it shows that Hollow Bastion is filled with different personal battles. Everyone here is fighting something. Cloud is chasing his darkness. Leon is protecting the town, and Sora is searching for Riku and Kairi. Sora's group heads to Merlin's house, where the Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee explains that they have found something extremely important: Ansem's computer. This catches Sora's attention immediately. Sora has been trying to understand Organization XIII, the Nobodies, and what happened while he was asleep. He is also still searching for Riku. If Ansem's computer has information about the organization or the worlds, it might finally give Sora the answers he needs. To reach the computer, Sora, Donald, and Goofy leave Merlin's house and head toward the castle area. They travel through the Bailey, where they meet the Gullwings, Yuna, Riku, and Pain. The three of them are treasure hunters, and they are interested in what the Restoration Committee might be hiding. Their appearance adds a lighter moment to the story, but it also shows that Hollow Bastion is becoming more active. More people are moving through the town, and everyone seems to be drawn toward the secrets hidden there. Sora continues through the restoration site and reaches the postern, where he meets Aerith. From there, the path leads into the castle's corridors, a maze-like underground area filled with Heartless. Sora fights through surveillance robots and other enemies as he moves deeper toward Ansem's old study. Eventually, the group reaches Ansem's study. Inside, they find more signs of the past. This was once connected to the research that helped shape everything happening now. Tifa also appears here, searching for Cloud. Like Cloud, she is tied to her own personal story, but her presence also makes Hollow Bastion feel like a gathering place for characters whose lives have been marked by darkness and recovery. Then Leon reveals the hidden entrance to a secret computer room. This is where the visit truly changes. Sora, Donald, and Goofy enter the hidden lab and find Ansem's computer. Sora hopes the computer can tell him about Riku, Organization XIII, and what is really going on. But before they can properly search through the data, things go wrong. Stitch suddenly appears near the computer, and Donald accidentally starts pressing keys while chasing him around. The computer reacts, and before Sora's group can stop it, they are pulled into the system. This begins the first visit to Space Paranoids. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive in Space Paranoids, their appearances change completely. Their clothes become digital armor, glowing with neon lines that match the computer world. Everything around them looks artificial, technological, and completely different from every other world they have visited so far. This is not a kingdom, a town, a desert, or a castle. This is a world inside a computer. Before Sora can understand what is happening, he is confronted by Sark, a commander working for the Master Control Program, also known as the MCP. Sark sees Sora, Donald, and Goofy as suspicious outsiders and has them arrested. The group is thrown into the pit cell, where they meet Tron. Tron is a program inside the system, but he is not like the MCP or Sark. Tron believes in the users, the people from the outside world. He wants to free the system from the MCP's control and restore order. Sora tells Tron that he and his friends are users from the outside, and Tron decides to trust them. This creates the emotional core of Space Paranoids. Tron is a program, but he still believes in friendship, loyalty, and doing what is right. Sora does not treat Tron like he is less real because he lives inside a computer. To Sora, Tron is a friend. The first goal is to escape the pit cell. To open the locked gate, Sora has to attack it and collect energy clusters. Once enough clusters are collected, the freeze reaction command becomes available. Sora uses freeze to unlock the gate, allowing the group to escape into the canyon. In the canyon, Tron explains that they need to restore power to the system's energy core. This leads to a puzzle where Sora has to find the correct red cube among moving blue cubes. The red cube eventually blends in, so Sora has to watch carefully, strike the correct cube, and restore the energy core. After the energy core is restored, Tron is able to send Sora, Donald, and Goofy back to Hollow Bastion. But Tron still needs help. To access the system's deeper data, he needs the password to the DTD. That password is hidden somewhere in the real world, inside Ansem's study. Sora returns to Hollow Bastion and searches the study. This is where King Mickey appears again. Mickey's arrival is important because he knows more about Ansem than Sora does. Sora has been carrying the name Ansem in his mind since the first game, believing Ansem was the one behind so much darkness. But now, that truth begins to shift. The password is connected to the 7 Princesses of Heart. Once Sora learns the password, Mickey gives him a new power, Master Form. This Drive form combines the Strength of Valor form and the Magic of Wisdom form, giving Sora a powerful new way to fight. Around this point, Sora can also obtain the Ukulele charm, which unlocks Stitch as a summon. Then Sora returns to Ansem's computer and enters Space Paranoids again. But the MCP is ready. Instead of sending Sora straight back to Tron, the system sends him to the game grid. Sora is forced into a light cycle battle, one of the most unique sections of Kingdom Hearts 2. He rides a digital motorcycle through a glowing arena, fighting Heartless called Magnum Loaders while trying to escape the grid. This section feels very different from normal combat. Sora cannot move or attack the same way he usually does. He has to ram enemies, block attacks, and navigate sharp turns while racing through the system. It makes Space Paranoids feel like its own world with its own rules. After escaping the game grid, Sora reunites with Tron in the pit cell. Now the group can finally head deeper into the system and reach the data space. Inside the data space, Tron tries to access the DTD using the password, but the MCP interferes. The computer system begins to fight back, and Sora has to clear corrupted monitors while Heartless attack endlessly. This becomes another energy cluster event. Sora defeats Heartless to collect clusters, fills the gauge, and uses the freeze reaction command to reclaim each monitor. The challenge is not just about defeating enemies. It is about restoring control of the system before the MCP can take everything over. During this moment, Tron changes the password to something more personal: Sora, Donald, and Goofy. That matters because Tron is no longer just working with users in a distant way. He has made Sora's group part of his trust. They are not just outsiders helping him, they are his friends. But the MCP is not finished. It creates a dangerous program meant to destroy Hollow Bastion from inside the computer system. This program is sent to the I.O. Tower, forcing Sora and Tron to chase it down before it can do serious damage. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Tron move through the I.O. Tower, fighting strong computer world Heartless like Devastators and Loaders. Tron also accesses the tower's terminal and receives an upgrade, making him stronger for the fight ahead. Then the main boss of Space Paranoid's first visit appears: Hostile Program. The Hostile Program is not a normal Heartless, and it is not a normal monster. It is a dangerous executable created by the MCP to attack the system and destroy Hollow Bastion. The battle takes place in a digital arena, and the fight is built around the same energy cluster mechanic used throughout Space Paranoids. Sora has to attack the Hostile Program so it drops energy clusters. Once enough clusters are collected, the freeze reaction command can be used to stop the Hostile Program in place. When it is frozen, Sora can unload combos, magic, drive forms, or Tron's Limit command to deal heavy damage. The Hostile Program attacks with projectiles, laser patterns, and fast movement around the arena. Its arms can separate and fire beams, making the battlefield dangerous if Sora is not paying attention. The key is to keep attacking, collect clusters, freeze the boss, and then strike while it cannot move. Tron is very important in this fight. His limit command can deal strong damage and help control the battle. This reinforces the feeling that Sora and Tron are truly fighting together to save both the computer world and Hollow Bastion outside. Once hostile program is defeated, the threat to the town is stopped. Sora receives the Photon Debugger Keyblade, and Tron helps send the group back to Hollow Bastion. But when Sora returns to the real world, the answers he finds are not comforting. The data inside Ansem's computer has been damaged or corrupted, but Sora learns something huge. The Ansem he fought in Kingdom Hearts 1 was not the real Ansem. The villain from the first game was actually Xehanort's Heartless using Ansem's name. The real Ansem was Ansem the Wise, a ruler and researcher connected to Hollow Bastion's past. Xehanort was one of his apprentices. This changes everything Sora thought he knew. The name Ansem was never as simple as it seemed. The darkness Sora fought before was tied to a much bigger history. Before Sora can fully process this truth, Hollow Bastion comes under attack. The world erupts into war. Heartless fled the town. Nobodies appear as well. At first, the Heartless and Nobodies seem like opposing forces. But once Sora arrives, they both turn against him. The Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee is forced into battle, and the peaceful rebuilding effort becomes a full-scale invasion. Sora, Donald, and Goofy fight their way out through the castle corridors. The enemies are stronger now, and the town feels like it is collapsing under pressure. What began as a search for computer data has become one of the biggest battles in the entire game. When Sora reaches the postern, Sephiroth appears briefly. His presence continues Cloud's personal storyline, reminding us that Cloud's fight with his own darkness is still happening in the background. But Sora cannot stay focused on that for long. The Heartless invasion is spreading. The group moves toward the restoration site and continues fighting. Nobodies like dancers appear, showing that Organization XIII is directly involved in what is happening. This is not just a random Heartless attack. Something larger is being arranged. Sora reaches the Bailey, where King Mickey tells him not to go any farther. The battle ahead is dangerous, and Mickey understands more about the organization than Sora does. But Sora refuses to stay behind. His friends are fighting. The town is under attack. And Sora is not the kind of person who stands still while others are in danger. At the castle gate, Sora runs into Demyx. Demyx had appeared earlier in Olympus Coliseum, where he acted nervous, awkward, and almost harmless. But here, during the Battle of Hollow Bastion, Demyx becomes a real boss fight. He may still claim he is not a good fighter, but now he stands in Sora's way as a member of Organization XIII. The battle begins with Demyx summoning water forms. Sora has to defeat a large number of them before time runs out. The best way to clear them is by using the Wild Dance reaction command, which lets Sora grab a water form and swing it around to destroy multiple forms quickly. After the time challenge, Demyx fights directly. He attacks with water pillars, bubbles, rushing movements, and waves of water that can knock Sora into the air. He moves quickly, retreats often, and uses his sitar to control the battlefield. He can also summon more water forms during the battle, forcing Sora to deal with both Demyx and his creations. This fight is important because it shows that Organization XIII members cannot be judged by their personalities alone. Demyx may act goofy and reluctant, but he is still dangerous. He is still part of the organization. And when pushed into battle, he can hurt Sora badly. Once Demyx is defeated, he fades away. Sora receives an upgrade to Blizzard Magic, turning it into Blizzara. But there is no time to celebrate. The battle becomes even more intense. As Sora, Donald, Goofy, and King Mickey move forward, a surveillance robot fires a laser at a large boulder. The boulder flies toward Mickey, and Goofy immediately jumps in front of him. Goofy is hit in the head. He falls to the ground and does not respond. For a moment, Sora, Donald, and Mickey believe Goofy is dead. This is one of the most shocking moments in Kingdom Hearts 2. Goofy is usually the calm, gentle, funny heart of the group. Seeing him fall makes the battle suddenly feel real in a way it has not before. Donald breaks down. Sora is stunned, And Mickey, usually controlled and careful, becomes furious. The three of them charge into battle, driven by grief and anger. From here, Sora begins fighting through the ravine trail, and the Final Fantasy characters step in to help. Yuffie, Leon, Tifa, and Cloud all assist Sora during different battles as he pushes through waves of Heartless. Each ally gets a moment to stand with him, showing that Hollow Bastion is not being protected by Sora alone. This is the Restoration Committee's home. They are fighting for it too. Yuffie attacks with speed and energy. Leon cuts through Heartless with his gunblade. Tifa fights with powerful close-range strikes. Cloud brings his massive sword into the battle. Even Aerith helps from the sidelines with healing magic. The Gullwings and Stitch also appear during the larger conflict, making the battle feel like all of Hollow Bastion's allies are doing whatever they can to stop the invasion. Eventually, Sora reaches the Crystal Fissure, and then Goofy returns. He is alive. The boulder only knocked him out. Sora and Donald are overwhelmed with relief, and the party is finally reunited. Sora also receives Cura, upgrading his healing magic. This moment gives the story a breath of hope right before the biggest battle begins. The group moves into the Great Maw, where the full scale of the invasion is revealed. Thousands of Heartless are pouring into the valley. Then the leader of Organization XIII appears, Xemnas. This is one of Sora's first major encounters with the organization's leader. Xemnas is calm, mysterious, and powerful. He does not act desperate. He speaks like someone who has already set his plan in motion. King Mickey recognizes the danger and chases after Xemnas when he leaves through a dark corridor. Before Sora, Donald, and Goofy can follow, they are surrounded by a massive army of Heartless. This begins one of the most iconic battles in Kingdom Hearts 2, the Thousand Heartless Battle. Sora stands alone against an enormous army of Heartless in the Great Maw. Donald and Goofy split away to handle other enemies, leaving Sora to cut through the horde himself. The enemies are mostly armored knights and surveillance robots, but the number is what makes the battle unforgettable. Sora has to defeat 1,000 Heartless in a single fight. The battle is built around reaction commands. Against the armored knights, Sora can use Rising Sun, launching himself through groups of enemies and tearing through the crowd. Against surveillance robots, Sora can use commands like Snag and Sparkle Ray, grabbing the robots and firing beams across the battlefield to wipe out large groups. This fight is not difficult because of one powerful boss. It is overwhelming because of scale. For the first time, Sora is not just fighting to save one person or one room. He is standing against an army. He is protecting an entire world with the Keyblade. And when the last Heartless falls, Sora is still standing. After the battle, Sora, Donald, and Goofy catch up with Mickey and Xemnas. Xemnas hints that Mickey knows more than he has been saying, especially about Riku. This bothers Sora because Riku is still missing, and every clue only makes the mystery more painful. Xemnas disappears, and Mickey chases after him through a corridor of darkness. Then Sora meets Axel again. Axel tries to explain what Organization XIII is doing, but before he can say too much, Saïx appears and stops him. This is where the truth finally hits Sora. Saïx reveals that Organization XIII has been using him. Every time Sora defeats a Heartless with the Keyblade, the heart inside that Heartless is released. Organization XIII has been collecting those hearts and using them to build their own Kingdom Hearts. They want Kingdom Hearts so they can gain hearts of their own. That means Sora's heroic actions have been helping the organization. Every world he saved. Every Heartless he defeated. Every heart he released. The organization was using all of it. This completely shakes Sora. He does not want to help Organization XIII. He does not want his Keyblade to be used for their plan. But if he stops fighting Heartless, the Heartless will continue destroying worlds and stealing hearts. That is the trap. If Sora fights, the organization benefits. If Sora does nothing, innocent people suffer. Saïx makes the situation even worse by showing that Organization XIII can influence the Heartless and use them to pressure Sora. He wants Sora to keep fighting because every victory brings the organization closer to its goal. Then Maleficent appears. Maleficent is still a villain, and she still wants Hollow Bastion for herself, but she does not want Organization 13 taking it either. For a brief moment, her goals line up with Sora's survival. She summons Heartless to challenge Sayax, but Sayax counters with nobodies. The situation becomes impossible. Sora does not want to fight because he now knows defeating Heartless helps Organization 13, but standing still would get everyone destroyed. Maleficent forces Sora, Donald, and Goofy to escape through a corridor of darkness, buying them enough time to get away. She is not doing it out of pure kindness. She still wants power, but her actions save Sora's group from being trapped. The visit ends with Sora carrying a much heavier burden than before. Hollow Bastion survives the invasion, but the battle changes everything. Sora now knows that the Ansem from Kingdom Hearts 1 was really Xehanort's Heartless. He has entered Space Paranoids and helped Tron stop the MCP's hostile program. He has seen Organization 13's leader, Xemnas. He has defeated Demyx. He has fought side by side with Hollow Bastion's defenders. He has survived the Thousand Heartless battle. And worst of all, he has learned that Organization 13 has been using his Keyblade to gather hearts. This is why Hollow Bastion's third visit is one of the most important arcs in Kingdom Hearts 2. It starts as a search for answers inside Ansem's computer. It becomes a digital adventure with Tron inside Space Paranoids. Then it explodes into a full-scale war for Hollow Bastion. And by the end, Sora understands the real danger of Organization 13. They are not just sending nobodies after him. They are not just interfering with worlds. They are using Sora's own heroism as part of their plan. This visit changes the story from a simple journey across Disney worlds into a much darker conflict. Sora is still doing the right thing, but now the right thing is complicated. Every Heartless he defeats helps save people, but it also helps the organization build Kingdom Hearts. That is what makes this arc so powerful. It gives Sora answers, but those answers hurt. It gives him victory, but that victory comes with doubt. And it turns Hollow Bastion from a rebuilding town into the battlefield, where Sora finally realizes just how deep Organization 13's plan really goes. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to Space Paranoids for the second visit, the danger is no longer hidden inside the computer system. Now, the problem is spreading into Hollow Bastion itself. The MCP, also known as the Master Control Program, has become more aggressive. During the first visit, Sora helped Tron defeat the hostile program and protect Hollow Bastion from being damaged through Ansem's computer. But that only stopped one part of the threat. The MCP is still alive, still controlling the system, and now it has started reaching deeper into Hollow Bastion's defenses. When Sora returns to Hollow Bastion, the town feels unstable. The computer system is acting up, the security programs are no longer safe, and Heartless are appearing again. The Restoration Committee realizes that the MCP has taken control of the Heartless manufactory, meaning it can help produce and release even more Heartless into the town. This is a major problem because Hollow Bastion has spent the entire game trying to rebuild. Leon, Yuffie, Aerith, Sid, Merlin, and the others have worked hard to restore their home after it was damaged by darkness. But now, the MCP is using Ansem's old computer system against them. A tool that should help protect the town is becoming a weapon. Sora, Donald, and Goofy head toward Merlin's house, where the Restoration Committee is trying to figure out how to stop the MCP for good. Sid and Merlin are working on a special program, almost like a virus, that can delete the MCP from the system. But they need Sora to enter Space Paranoids again and help Tron deliver it. Before Sora goes back into the computer, he heads to Ansem's study. There, Leon gives Sora the Sleeping Lion Keyblade. This is an important reward because it connects Sora to Leon and the Restoration Committee's trust. Hollow Bastion is their home, but they are depending on Sora to go into the digital world and stop the threat from the inside. Once Sora, Donald, and Goofy enter Space Paranoids again, the world feels more dangerous than before. During the first visit, Tron was free and trying to help them fight against the MCP. But this time, the MCP has captured Tron and forced him into the game grid. That means Sora's first goal is simple: rescue Tron. Sora enters the game grid and finds Heartless running through the system. These enemies fit the digital world perfectly, including loaders, devastators, and other machine-like Heartless. The battle is not just about clearing enemies. It is about breaking the MCP's control and freeing Tron so the group can fight back together. After defeating the Heartless in the game grid, Sora frees Tron. This reunion matters because Tron has become more than just a program helping the users. He is Sora's friend now. During the first visit, Tron learned to trust Sora, Donald, and Goofy. Now, Sora is returning that trust by coming back for him. Once Tron is free, the group heads toward the I.O. Tower. On the way, more Heartless attack in the hallway, forcing Sora and Tron to fight through another ambush. The MCP is clearly trying to stop them before they can reach the deeper parts of the system. But Sora keeps pushing forward. Inside the I.O. Tower communications room, Tron receives new data and upgrades from the outside world. Leon, Sid, Merlin, and the Restoration Committee are supporting the fight from Hollow Bastion, while Sora and Tron fight from inside the computer. This is what makes Space Paranoids different from most worlds. The battle is happening in two places at once. Outside, Hollow Bastion is trying to survive the MCP's takeover. Inside, Sora and Tron are trying to reach the central system and destroy the MCP directly. After Tron receives the new data, the path to the simulation hangar opens. This leads to one of the biggest event sequences of the second visit, the Solar Sailor. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Tron board the Solar Sailor to reach the central computer mesa where the MCP is located, but the ride is not peaceful. The MCP sends Heartless onto the Solar Sailor to stop them. This becomes a defense battle. Sora has to defeat waves of Heartless before they overload the Solar Sailor. Enemies like Strafers, Loaders, and Devastators keep appearing on the platform. If too many enemies stay on the Solar Sailor for too long, they weigh it down and threaten to knock it off course. That means Sora cannot play defensively for too long. He has to stay aggressive, clear enemies quickly, use magic, drive forms, limits, and reaction commands to keep the Solar Sailor moving. Tron is also helpful here because his limit can help control groups of enemies and keep the pressure off the platform. The Solar Sailor section is important because it makes the journey to the MCP feel urgent. Sora is not simply walking to the final boss. He is fighting through the system while the MCP throws everything it has at him. After surviving the ride, the group reaches the central computer mesa. This is the deepest part of Space Paranoids and the place where the final battle begins. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and Tron move into the central computer core where they confront Sark and the MCP. The first part of the fight is against Commander Sark. Sark is the MCP's main enforcer. He fights with a data disk, teleporting around the arena and throwing the disk at Sora. His attacks are quick, but compared to what comes later, this first phase is only the beginning. Sora can block or counter Sark's disk attacks, and reaction commands like Zone Guard and Disc Strike allow him to turn Sark's own weapon against him. Once Sora defeats Sark, it looks like the battle might be over. But the MCP refuses to lose that easily. The MCP revives Sark and powers him up, turning him into a giant version of himself. Now, the battle becomes much bigger and more dangerous. This second phase is really a fight against both Giant Sark and the Master Control Program. Giant Sark attacks with huge disc throws, lightning, stomps, and massive swings. He towers over the battlefield, forcing Sora to attack his legs first. Once Sora damages Sark's legs enough, Sark collapses, giving Sora a chance to attack his head and stun him. This is important because Sark is not the real final target. The true enemy is the MCP. The MCP is protected by rotating wall panels around the core. Sora has to break through one of those panels to expose the MCP. Once a panel is broken and Tron is nearby, Sora can use the delete reaction command, followed by charge, to attack the MCP directly. This moment is the key to the entire boss fight. Sora cannot destroy the MCP alone. He needs Tron. The delete and charge commands represent Sora and Tron working together. Sora with the Keyblade, Tron with his knowledge of the system. This makes the final battle feel like the perfect conclusion to their friendship. But the MCP keeps recovering. After Sora damages it, the MCP rebuilds its wall, fires lasers across the arena, and revives Sark again. Then Sora has to repeat the process. Bring down Giant Sark, break through the MCP's shield, use delete, charge the attack, and damage the core. As the fight continues, the arena becomes more chaotic. Giant Sark attacks harder, the MCP fires more dangerous lasers, and the player has to keep Tron alive so the delete command remains available. If Tron is knocked out, Sora cannot properly damage the MCP, making the fight more difficult. This boss fight is one of the strongest examples of teamwork in Kingdom Hearts 2. Sora is the fighter. Tron is the key to deleting the MCP. Donald and Goofy support the battle. And outside the computer, the Hollow Bastion Restoration Committee is depending on them to save the town. Eventually, Sora and Tron break through the MCP's defenses one final time. The MCP is deleted. Sark is defeated. And Space Paranoids is finally freed from the MCP's control. After the battle, the digital world changes. The system is no longer being ruled by fear and control. Tron has helped restore order, and the threat to Hollow Bastion's computer system is gone. Sora, Donald, and Goofy say goodbye to Tron. But this goodbye is emotional because Tron has become a real friend to them. Even though he is a program, Sora never treats him like he is less important. Tron fought beside them, trusted them, and helped save an entire world from inside the computer. Before the visit ends, Tron does something special. He accesses old data connected to Hollow Bastion and reveals the world's true name, Radiant Garden. This is a huge moment for the Restoration Committee. For most of Kingdom Hearts 2, everyone has been calling the world Hollow Bastion, the name tied to the ruined castle and the darkness that took over it. But Radiant Garden was its real name before it fell. That name represents what the world used to be, before darkness, before Maleficent, before Xehanort's experiments, and before everything was broken. By restoring the name Radiant Garden, the story shows that the world is healing. The town is no longer just a place trying to survive. It is becoming itself again. That makes Space Paranoid's second visit important beyond just defeating the MCP. This visit gives closure to the computer world story, but it also gives Hollow Bastion a major turning point. The Restoration Committee has been fighting to rebuild their home, and now they finally remember what that home truly was. After the MCP is defeated, Sora receives Reflega, upgrading his Reflect magic to its strongest form. In Final Mix, he can also gain the explosion ability around this section, making him stronger for the battles ahead. Space Paranoid's second visit is important because it finishes Tron's story and helps complete Hollow Bastion's restoration arc. The first visit to Space Paranoids was about meeting Tron, learning the rules of the computer world, and stopping the hostile program. The second visit is about ending the MCP's control completely. Sora frees Tron from the game grid. The Restoration Committee sends help from the outside. The group rides the Solar Sailor into the heart of the system. Sora and Tron defeat Sark and delete the MCP. And Hollow Bastion finally reclaims the name Radiant Garden. This world is not just a digital side adventure. It is a story about control, freedom, friendship, and restoration. The MCP tried to control everything inside the system and use Hollow Bastion's technology against its own people. But Tron refused to give up. Sora refused to leave him behind. And together, they restored both the digital world and the real one connected to it. By the end of Space Paranoid's second visit, Tron is free, the MCP is gone, the computer system is safe, and Hollow Bastion takes one more major step toward becoming Radiant Garden again. For Sora, this visit is another reminder that hearts and friendship can exist in unexpected places. Even inside a computer, even in a world made of data, a friend is still a friend. In Kingdom Hearts 2, 100 Acre Wood and Atlantica are very different from the rest of Sora's journey. Most worlds in the game are about fighting Heartless, chasing Organization XIII, defeating Disney villains, and protecting worlds from darkness. But these two worlds slow the story down. 100 Acre Wood is about memory, friendship, and helping Pooh remember the people he loves. Atlantica is about music, Ariel's dream of the human world, and the story of her love for Prince Eric. Neither world is focused on normal boss fights the way Beast's Castle, Agrabah, Olympus Coliseum, or the Pride Lands are. Instead, they both give Sora a softer kind of adventure. They remind the player that Kingdom Hearts is not only about battle, it is also about connection. The story of 100 Acre Wood begins in Hollow Bastion, inside Merlin's house. Sora, Donald, and Goofy are called back because something has happened to Winnie the Pooh's book. Sora already knows this book from Kingdom Hearts I. Back then, 100 Acre Wood was a peaceful world where Sora helped Pooh find his friends, restored the pages of the book, and built a gentle friendship with the characters inside. So, when Sora sees the book again in Kingdom Hearts II, it feels like returning to an old friend. At first, Sora enters the book and finds Pooh at his house. This should be a happy reunion. Sora remembers Pooh, and the player remembers Pooh too. But before they can truly reconnect, Sora is pulled back out of the book. Heartless have appeared outside in Hollow Bastion. Sora, Donald, and Goofy fight the Heartless near Merlin's house, but during the chaos, the book is damaged. Its pages are torn out and scattered across other worlds. When Sora goes back inside the book, everything has changed. The 100 Acre Wood has lost pieces of itself, and, worst of all, Pooh no longer remembers Sora. This moment is quiet, but it matters. Kingdom Hearts II is a game filled with memory and identity. Sora has just woken up after a year of sleep. Roxas disappeared so Sora could return. Naminé's powers were tied to memories. And now, in one of the gentlest worlds in the game, Sora has to deal with being forgotten by someone who once cared about him. There is no boss fight here. There is no organization member standing in front of him. There is only Pooh, looking at Sora like he is a stranger. Merlin explains that the missing torn pages must be found and returned to the book. Each torn page restores a new area of 100 Acre Wood and brings back more of Pooh's world. The first torn page unlocks Piglet's house. When Sora enters this restored area, Piglet is in trouble, hanging from a tree branch while strong winds blow through the area. This begins the minigame, A Blustery Rescue. Sora and Pooh float through the air together, moving through the wind while avoiding obstacles like beehives, honeypots, and tree trunks. If Sora gets hit, Pooh can lose his grip, forcing Sora to grab him again before continuing. The goal is to reach Piglet and rescue him. This first restored page brings back one of Pooh's closest friends and begins rebuilding the feeling of friendship inside the book. It also shows what 100 Acre Wood is really about. Sora is not defeating darkness with strength here. He is helping friends find each other again. The second torn page unlocks Rabbit's house. This section leads to the minigame Honey Slider. Sora and Pooh slide down a path together, collecting honey while avoiding obstacles. If they hit too many obstacles, Pooh can get separated from Sora, and Sora has to rescue him before continuing. Rabbit's section has a playful feeling, but it still connects to the world's emotional theme. Every restored page gives Pooh another piece of his home back. Every friend Sora helps brings the 100 Acre Wood closer to feeling whole again. The third torn page unlocks Kanga and Rue's house. Here, Sora meets more of Pooh's friends and takes part in Balloon Bounce. The goal is to bounce off balloons and keep moving higher, collecting points and keeping the rhythm of the minigame going. It is light, colorful, and playful, fitting the world perfectly. By this point, 100 Acre Wood is starting to feel more alive again. The book is still damaged, and Pooh's memory is not fully restored yet, but the world is no longer empty. Piglet, Rabbit, Kanga, Rue, Tigger, Eeyore, and the others are slowly returning to the story. The fourth torn page unlocks the Spooky Cave. This section has a slightly different tone. Pooh goes missing inside the cave, and his friends become worried. Sora has to guide the group through the cave while keeping everyone calm. This minigame is called the Expotition. The goal is to lead Pooh's friends through the cave safely, avoid hazards, deal with bees, and stop the group from getting too frightened. If the friends panic too much, Sora has to calm them down and keep everyone together. This is one of the most important parts of 100 Acre Wood because it shows how much Pooh's friends care about him. They are scared, but they still go into the cave because Pooh matters to them. At the end of the cave, they find Pooh. After clearing this section, Sora receives the Sweet Memories Keyblade. This Keyblade fits the world perfectly because 100 Acre Wood is built around memories. The ones Pooh lost, the ones Sora is trying to restore, and the friendship that still exists even when it is temporarily forgotten. The fifth and final torn page unlocks Starry Hill. This is the emotional ending of 100 Acre Wood. The final minigame is the Honey Pot, where Pooh gets a honey pot stuck on his head. Sora helps him by swinging the pot and removing it. Compared to other worlds, this is not dramatic or dangerous, but that is the point. The final moment is small, gentle, and personal. After the final page is restored, Pooh's memory returns. Pooh remembers Sora. The sadness from the beginning of the world finally lifts. Sora had been forgotten by one of his old friends, but by restoring the book, helping Pooh's friends, and rebuilding the 100 Acre Wood piece by piece, Sora restores that bond. The ending is quiet and emotional. Pooh does not want Sora to leave. Sora knows he has to continue his journey, but he reassures Pooh that their friendship will not disappear just because they are apart. This connects perfectly to one of Kingdom Hearts' biggest themes. Friends do not have to stand beside each other every second to stay connected. If they remember each other, care about each other, and keep each other in their hearts, then the bond remains. By completing 100 Acre Wood, Sora receives the final Cure upgrade, turning Cura into Curaga. He also receives an Orichalcum Plus, which becomes important for synthesis later. But story-wise, the real reward is not an item. The real reward is Pooh remembering Sora. 100 Acre Wood is not about saving a kingdom or defeating a villain. It is about restoring a small world that was damaged. It is about helping friends find each other again. It is about memory, kindness, and the pain of being forgotten. In a game filled with Organization XIII, heartless, nobodies, and huge battles, 100 Acre Wood reminds us that even the smallest friendships matter. Now, Atlantica tells a very different kind of story. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to Atlantica in Kingdom Hearts II, they once again change forms to survive underwater. Sora becomes a merman, Donald becomes a sea creature, and Goofy becomes a turtle-like form. But this version of Atlantica is not a normal combat world like it was in Kingdom Hearts I. There are no heartless battles here. There are no standard boss fights. Instead, Atlantica is a musical world. The story is told through songs, rhythm minigames, and cutscenes based heavily on The Little Mermaid. When Sora first arrives, he has to relearn how to swim. Because he has been asleep for a year, he is a little rusty, so Ariel, Flounder, and Sebastian help him get used to moving underwater again. Sebastian is preparing for a musical performance, and he wants Sora, Donald, and Goofy to take part. He is also worried about Ariel, who has been distracted lately. Ariel is still fascinated by the human world, and her attention keeps drifting away from her life under the sea. The first chapter is Swim This Way. This song introduces the rhythm mechanics of Atlantica. The player has to press buttons in time with the music, aiming for good and excellent ratings. In story terms, this is Sora joining Ariel and her friends in a cheerful musical number, helping Sebastian with his performance and bringing energy back to Atlantica. But even after the song, Ariel is still distracted. The reason is Prince Eric. Before Sora arrives, Ariel saw Eric after a shipwreck and saved his life. She brought him to shore, sang to him, and fell in love with him before returning to the sea. Now, she cannot stop thinking about the human world. That leads into the next chapter, Part of Your World. Flounder finds a statue of Prince Eric, and with Sora's help, they bring it to Ariel's grotto. Ariel is overjoyed because the statue reminds her of Eric and the world above the surface. She sings about wanting to be part of that world, wanting to walk on land, and wanting to understand humans. Sora wants to support her because he understands what it means to long for another world. He has traveled across many worlds himself. But Sebastian is nervous because he knows King Triton does not approve of Ariel's fascination with humans. The third chapter is Under the Sea. Sebastian hopes this song will convince Ariel that life under the ocean is better than life on land. The song is bright, fun, and full of energy, but it does not solve Ariel's problem. Ariel still wants to see the human world. She does not believe land and sea have to be separate forever. This causes tension. Sebastian worries about Ariel falling in love with a human, and King Triton eventually overhears the truth. Triton is furious. He believes humans are dangerous, and his anger becomes even stronger because humans were connected to the loss of Ariel's mother. When Triton finds the statue of Eric in Ariel's grotto, he destroys it. Ariel is heartbroken. This is the moment Ursula has been waiting for. Ursula returns through the power of darkness and approaches Ariel when she is vulnerable. She offers Ariel a deal. Ursula will turn Ariel into a human for 3 days, but Ariel must give up her voice. If Ariel can get Eric to kiss her before the sun sets on the 3rd day, she can remain human. If she fails, she belongs to Ursula. Sora arrives too late to stop the deal. Ursula takes Ariel's voice into a shell necklace and transforms her into a human. Ariel cannot breathe underwater anymore, so Sora rushes her to the surface. On land, Eric finds Ariel and takes her in. Sora and the others watch from the sea, hoping Ariel can reach Eric before time runs out. Ariel and Eric grow closer, and it seems like they may kiss, but Ursula's eels interfere and stop the moment from happening. As the final day approaches, Ursula takes another form. Vanessa. Using Ariel's stolen voice, Vanessa hypnotizes Eric and tricks him. Sora realizes what is happening when he sees the shell necklace and understands that Vanessa is Ursula in disguise. With the Keyblade, he destroys the necklace, freeing Ariel's voice and breaking Ursula's spell over Eric. Eric finally realizes Ariel is the girl who saved him, but the sun sets before they can kiss. Because Ariel missed the deadline, Ursula takes her back to the sea. This leads into the 4th chapter, Ursula's Revenge. King Triton arrives and tries to stop Ursula, but Ariel's contract is binding. To save his daughter, Triton takes Ariel's place. Ursula transforms him and steals his trident, gaining the power she wanted. Then Ursula becomes giant. This is Atlantica's version of a boss fight, but instead of normal combat, it is a musical battle. Sora, Donald, Goofy, Ariel, and Eric fight through the rhythm minigame while Ursula attacks. The goal is to reduce Ursula's HP through successful button presses and rapid input sections. The better the player performs, the more damage they deal. At the end of the musical battle, Sora knocks the trident away, and Eric uses it to defeat Ursula. Ursula is destroyed again, Trident is restored, and Ariel is saved. After this, Ariel reveals her true mermaid form to Eric. She is sad because she believes they still cannot be together, but Eric does not reject her. He accepts her, and Triton finally begins to understand that Ariel's love for the human world is not simply rebellion, it is part of who she is. Sora receives the mysterious Abyss Keyblade after completing this chapter. The final chapter is A New Day is Dawning. This is the closing musical number for Atlantica. It brings together the lessons of the whole world: Ariel's love, Triton's acceptance, Sebastian's support, and the idea that land and sea do not have to be enemies. The final song uses mechanics from all the earlier songs, making it feel like everything Sora learned in Atlantica comes together at once. After completing it, Sora receives Blizzaga and another Orichalcum Plus. Atlantica ends on a happy note. Ariel and Eric are together, Triton accepts his daughter's choice, and Sora, Donald, and Goofy prepare to leave. Ariel is sad to see them go, but Sora reminds her that they do not have to say goodbye forever. Just like Pooh's world, Atlantica is about connection. Ariel is connected to the sea, but she also loves the land. Pooh is connected to Sora, even after forgetting him for a time. Sora keeps traveling, but every world he visits leaves something behind in his heart. That is why 100 Acre Wood and Atlantica matter in Kingdom Hearts 2. They may not be the darkest or most action-heavy worlds, but they bring balance to the story. After all the fights against Organization XIII, after the giant heartless battles, after the emotional weight of Roxas, Kairi, Riku, and the Nobodies, these worlds remind us what Sora is really protecting: friendship, memory, love, dreams, and the small, gentle worlds that darkness could easily destroy if no one cared enough to protect them. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy return to Twilight Town for the third visit, the world feels like it has been waiting for them. This is not just another stop on the journey anymore. Twilight Town has always been connected to the mystery of Kingdom Hearts 2. It is where Roxas spent his last days. It is where Sora woke up after sleeping for a year. It is where Kairi came looking for Sora before Axel took her away. And now, it becomes the place that leads Sora closer to the truth. By this point, Sora knows Organization XIII has been using him. Every time he defeats Heartless with the Keyblade, the hearts released from those Heartless are being collected by the organization. Sora wants to save people, but now he knows his actions are also helping the enemy build their own Kingdom Hearts. That makes his journey heavier than before. Kairi has been kidnapped. Riku is still missing. Roxas is still a mystery. And Organization XIII is waiting somewhere beyond Sora's reach. When Sora arrives in Twilight Town, the clue points him toward the old mansion. The mansion has been important since the beginning of the game. Roxas went there during his final days. Naminé appeared there. Diz's hidden computer room is underneath it. And Sora, Donald, and Goofy woke up in the basement after their memories were restored. So when the mansion becomes the next destination, it feels like Sora is being pulled back to the place where everything started. Sora, Donald, and Goofy travel through Twilight Town and head toward the woods. The town still has its soft sunset glow, but the atmosphere is more serious now. This is no longer the peaceful town of summer vacation. Nobodies are moving through it, and the organization's presence feels closer than ever. When the group reaches the gate of the old mansion, Hayner, Pence, and Olette arrive too. This moment matters because these three have been connected to Sora and Roxas in a strange way throughout the game. The real Hayner, Pence, and Olette do not fully understand Roxas or the simulated Twilight Town, but they still feel connected to Sora. They helped Kairi when she came to Twilight Town, and now they are helping Sora again. Before they can go inside, Nobodies attack. This becomes the first major battle of Twilight Town's third visit. Sora, Donald, and Goofy fight outside the old mansion, and this time King Mickey joins them. Mickey fighting beside Sora makes the battle feel more important. This is not a small enemy encounter. This is the organization trying to stop Sora from reaching the hidden path inside the mansion. The Nobodies attack in waves, and Sora has to fight through them using everything he has learned. Dusks twist and bend across the battlefield, but Sora can use reversal to slip around them and strike back. Creepers are the weakest of the Nobodies. It takes on various shapes, making it difficult to read its next move. Samurai Nobodies challenge Sora with dual stance, forcing him to choose the right command quickly and finish them with the end. The fight outside the mansion feels like Twilight Town's final test. Sora is not just defeating enemies, he is forcing his way toward the truth hidden beneath the town. After the Nobodies are defeated, Sora and the others enter the old mansion. Inside, everything feels quiet and heavy. The mansion is familiar, but it carries a strange sadness. For the player, this place is tied directly to Roxas. This is where his story ended. This is where he finally reached Sora. This is where one life disappeared so another could wake up. Sora does not fully understand that yet, but the feeling is still there. The group travels deeper into the mansion and reaches the basement. Down there, they find the computer room, where Diz's equipment is still connected to the strange data hidden inside Twilight Town. Pence begins working with the computer, but it asks for a password. The password is simple: Seesaw ice cream. To Sora, it may sound like just a random clue, but to anyone who understands Roxas' story, it means so much more. Seesaw ice cream represents Roxas' summer days. It represents the clock tower. It represents Hayner, Pence, and Olette. It represents Axel. It represents the life Roxas almost had. So when that password opens the computer, it feels like Roxas is still guiding Sora forward, even if Sora does not realize it. Once the password is entered, the computer reveals the existence of another Twilight Town. Not a different street, not a hidden room, a completely separate version of the town. This is the simulated Twilight Town, the digital world where Roxas lived at the beginning of the game. Diz created it to hide Roxas from Organization XIII and keep him there until he could merge with Sora. The town looked real. The people felt real. The memories felt real. But it was still a copy. A peaceful cage built around Roxas's final days. Sora, Donald, and Goofy enter the alternate Twilight Town through the computer system. When they arrive, the world looks familiar, but something feels off. This is still Twilight Town, but it is not the same Twilight Town they just left. This version belongs to Roxas. Sora is now walking through the remains of Roxas's life. The group moves through the mansion basement in the simulated town. The path is quiet, almost empty, like the world has already served its purpose. Roxas is gone from this place, but the memories connected to him still remain. Then, a mysterious portal appears. Sora steps through it and enters a strange in-between space connected to Twilight Town's hidden path. This place feels like a corridor between worlds, a space caught between what Sora knows and the road ahead. But before Sora can move forward, nobodies appear again. At first, Donald and Goofy are with him. They manage to fight off a couple of Dusks. After the fight, more Dusks surround them. Then, someone unexpected arrives. Axel. Axel appears and comes to Sora's rescue. This is a major moment because Axel has been difficult to understand throughout the story. He was part of Organization XIII. He fought Roxas. He kidnapped Kairi. He acted selfishly because he wanted Roxas back. But Axel is also not like the rest of the organization. He cared about Roxas. He missed him. And because Roxas is inside Sora, Axel cannot fully separate Sora from the friend he lost. Now, when Sora is surrounded by nobodies, Axel fights beside him. This becomes the emotional action climax of Twilight Town's third visit, Sora and Axel versus the nobodies. The battle is chaotic because nobodies keep flooding the area. Sora has to fight without Donald and Goofy, meaning he cannot rely on his usual full party support. No Donald healing, no Goofy defense, no normal team-based safety. But Axel is there, and Axel fights with everything he has. He uses his flaming chakrams to tear through groups of nobodies, covering the battlefield in fire. His attacks are fast, aggressive, and desperate. This does not feel like Axel is simply helping for fun. It feels like he knows this may be his last chance to do something that matters. Sora fights beside him, cutting down nobodies with the Keyblade while Axel burns through wave after wave. For a moment, they are not enemies. They are partners. Even though Sora still does not fully trust Axel, and even though Axel has caused pain, this fight shows that Axel has chosen his side. He is no longer fighting for Organization XIII. He is no longer only chasing Roxas. In this moment, he is helping Sora move forward. After the nobodies are defeated, the battle still is not truly over. More nobodies keep coming. There are too many. Sora cannot stop them all. That is when Axel makes his choice. He uses the last of his strength in one final massive attack, wiping out the nobodies and clearing the path. The attack is powerful, but it costs him everything. Axel begins to fade. This is one of the saddest moments in Kingdom Hearts 2. For most of the game, Axel was confusing. Sometimes he seemed like an enemy. Sometimes he seemed like he wanted to help. Sometimes he was funny. Sometimes he was dangerous. But here, at the end of Twilight Town's path, his true feelings finally come through. He did everything because he missed Roxas. He wanted his friend back. And when he looks at Sora, part of him sees the person Roxas became. Axel opens a portal for Sora. He gives Sora the way forward. Before fading away, Axel leaves behind the feeling that even nobodies, beings who are supposed to have no hearts, can still form bonds that feel real. His friendship with Roxas mattered, his pain mattered, and his final act proves that he was more than just a member of Organization XIII. After Axel disappears, Sora is left standing at the edge of the road ahead. Twilight Town has given him everything it can. The real town led him to the mansion. The mansion led him to the computer room. The password led him to Roxas's Twilight Town. Roxas's Twilight Town led him to Axel. And Axel opened the path forward. For now, this is where the Twilight Town story stops. Sora has not reached the final destination yet, but the door is open. Twilight Town's third visit is important because it brings together so many of the game's biggest emotional threads. Hayner, Pence, and Olette help Sora one more time. King Mickey fights beside him at the mansion. The password sea salt ice cream brings Roxas' memory back into focus. The simulated Twilight Town reminds us of the life Roxas lost, and Axel gives everything he has to help Sora continue. This visit is not about a Disney villain. It is not about saving a kingdom. It is about memory, friendship, sacrifice, and the hidden connection between Sora and Roxas. Twilight Town has always been a place between endings and beginnings. For Roxas, it was where his summer ended. For Sora, it becomes the place where the final road begins. And for Axel, it becomes the place where he finally chooses friendship over the organization. When Sora, Donald, and Goofy arrive in the world that never was, everything feels different. This is not a Disney world. This is not a place being corrupted from the outside. This is the home of Organization XIII. The sky is dark. The city is empty. The streets are filled with neon lights, black buildings, and a cold feeling that makes the world seem almost lifeless. It does not feel like a place where people live. It feels like a place built from nothing. And that is exactly what makes it perfect for the organization. The world that never was is a world of nobodies. A world for beings who should not exist. A world caught between darkness, memory, and emptiness. Sora, Donald, and Goofy begin in the Dark City after Axel's sacrifice. Axel used the last of his strength to open this path, giving Sora a way to reach Kairi, Riku, and the organization. Now Sora has no choice but to keep moving forward. As they walk through the streets, Heartless appear. At first, the enemies are mostly shadows, but even that feels strange. Sora now knows that every Heartless he defeats with the Keyblade releases a heart, and those hearts are being gathered by Organization XIII to complete their Kingdom Hearts. That means even here, at the organization's home, Sora is trapped in the same painful situation. If he fights, he helps the organization. If he does not fight, the Heartless will keep attacking. So Sora does what he always does. He keeps fighting. The group pushes deeper into the city until they reach Memory's skyscraper, one of the most important locations in the entire game. The giant building towers over the dark city, glowing with screens and lights. It feels like a monument to lost memories, which fits perfectly because this is where Sora's connection to Roxas finally comes to the surface. As Sora approaches, time seems to stop. Then, Roxas appears. This moment is emotional because Sora still does not fully understand Roxas. He has seen flashes of him. He has heard his name. He knows Roxas is connected to him somehow. But he does not yet understand everything Roxas gave up so that Sora could wake up. Roxas confronts Sora directly. In the original version of Kingdom Hearts II, this is mostly shown as a cutscene. In Final Mix, it becomes one of the most memorable boss fights in the entire game. Sora is pulled into a strange inner space, almost like a dive to the heart, and faces Roxas one-on-one. Roxas fights with two Keyblades, using Oathkeeper and Oblivion. His attacks are fast, emotional, and powerful. He does not fight like a normal enemy. He fights like someone who is trying to understand why he had to disappear. The battle is not just physical. It is personal. Roxas attacks with quick combos, light pillars, spinning Keyblade strikes, and bursts of energy. He can move across the arena quickly, forcing Sora to guard, dodge, and wait for openings. At one point, the battle can trigger a duel-like reaction command where Sora can temporarily steal Roxas's Keyblades and turn Roxas's own power against him. But the heart of the fight is not about winning. It is about Roxas needing an answer. He wants to know why Sora was chosen, why Sora gets to exist, why Roxas had to return to him. After the battle, Roxas finally accepts Sora. He realizes that Sora is not his enemy. Sora is his other half. Roxas tells Sora that he makes a good other, and then he returns inside him. Sora wakes up confused, not fully understanding what just happened. Donald and Goofy ask if he is okay, and Sora moves forward. But something has changed. Roxas is no longer just a mystery. He is part of Sora. After this, Sora, Donald, and Goofy continue through the Dark City toward the castle. In the distance, they see the giant heart-shaped moon shining above the world. This is Kingdom Hearts, the artificial Kingdom Hearts created from the hearts Sora has been releasing throughout the game. The sight of it is overwhelming. Everything Organization XIII has done has been leading to this. Every heartless Sora defeated. Every heart released by the Keyblade. Every world that was thrown into chaos. It was all being used to build that moon. The group reaches the edge of the city and enters the castle that never was. Inside the castle, the atmosphere becomes even colder. The halls are white, empty, and unnatural. Unlike the dark city outside, the castle feels clean and hollow, almost like it was built to look important without ever feeling alive. This is where the remaining members of Organization XIII are waiting. As Sora climbs the castle, he fights powerful nobodies. Sorcerer nobodies appear, using floating cubes to attack and defend themselves. These enemies show just how dangerous the organization's home is. The closer Sora gets to the top, the more the castle feels like it is testing him. Then Sora reaches the Hall of Empty Melodies. There, he confronts Xigbar. Xigbar is different from many of the organization members Sora has fought before. He is relaxed, mocking, and confident. He talks to Sora like he knows secrets Sora does not. He even hints that Sora is not the first Keyblade wielder he has seen, making the mystery of the Keyblade feel much bigger than Sora understands. Then the fight begins. Xigbar fights with space itself. He teleports around the room, stands upside down, changes the shape of the battlefield, and fires long-range shots from his arrow guns. At the start of the battle, he warps to a high platform and snipes at Sora from a distance. Sora has to survive the shots and use reaction commands like break and warp snipe to deflect the attacks back at him and bring him down. Once Xigbar is on the battlefield, he constantly teleports and fires from strange angles. Sometimes he changes the floor, making it harder for Sora to reach him. Later in the fight, he traps Sora in a tiny square arena and unleashes a rapid storm of lasers. Xigbar's battle feels chaotic because he does not fight fairly. He bends the rules of the room itself. But Sora keeps pushing forward. After a hard battle, Xigbar is defeated and fades away. Sora continues climbing the castle, but the story soon shifts to something much more emotional. Kairi is inside the castle too. She had been taken by Axel earlier, then ended up in the organization's hands. But she is not alone. Naminé appears and helps her escape. This is important because Naminé is Kairi's nobody, just like Roxas is Sora's nobody. Naminé has been connected to Sora's memories since Chain of Memories, but now she is helping Kairi directly. Kairi and Naminé try to escape through the castle, but the danger is everywhere. Then Riku appears. At first, he still looks like Ansem, the villain Sora fought in the first game. This is because Riku used the power of darkness to capture Roxas and help Sora wake up, but doing so forced him to take on Ansem's appearance. Riku has been hiding because he did not want Sora to see him this way. Kairi recognizes him anyway. She knows it is Riku, even behind Ansem's face. This is one of the most important emotional details in the game. Riku's appearance has changed, but his heart has not. Kairi can still feel who he is. As Sora keeps moving through the castle, he finally sees Kairi. After all this time, after missing her in Twilight Town, after chasing clues across the worlds, Sora finally reunites with her. He runs to her, And the reunion is emotional because Sora has been carrying the promise to find Kairi since the beginning of the journey. Kairi is safe now, but the moment becomes even more powerful when she tells Sora that the person beside her is Riku. Sora looks at the Ansem-like figure and struggles to believe it. Then Kairi helps him see the truth. Sora realizes it really is Riku. He drops to his knees and cries. This is one of the most emotional moments in Kingdom Hearts 2, because Sora finally finds both of the people he has been searching for. Kairi is here, Riku is alive. But Riku has been carrying his own pain in silence, hiding his face and helping from the shadows. Riku explains that he had to use darkness to help bring Sora back. He fought Roxas, he helped Diz. He stayed hidden because he was ashamed of what he looked like. But Sora does not care. To Sora, Riku is still Riku. Around this time, Kairi also receives a Keyblade from Riku and joins the fight, showing that she is no longer just waiting to be saved. She is willing to stand beside her friends. Sora receives the Oblivion Keyblade, a weapon deeply tied to Riku and the memories of their journey. After the reunion, Sora, Donald, Goofy, Riku, and Kairi continue through the castle. Mickey is also moving through the world, chasing the truth about Xemnas and Ansem the Wise. The group reaches an area called the Proof of Existence, where portals and symbols represent the remaining organization members. Most of the organization is already gone, but two powerful members still stand in Sora's way before he can reach Xemnas. The first is Luxord. Luxord is the gambler of Organization XIII, and his battle is one of the strangest in the game. He does not fight like a normal warrior. He treats the entire battle like a game. The fight uses a time meter instead of only relying on HP. Luxord attacks with cards, transforms Sora into dice or cards, and forces Sora into mini-games where choosing the right command matters. If Sora loses Luxord's games, his time drains quickly. If Sora wins, Luxord is left vulnerable. This fight reflects Luxord's personality perfectly. Everything is chance. Everything is risk. Everything is a game. But Sora refuses to be played with. He beats Luxord at his own game and defeats him. Luxord fades away, leaving another member of Organization XIII gone. Then Sora faces Saïx. Saïx is one of the most important members of the organization because he has been manipulating Sora emotionally throughout the game. He is the one who used Kairi's kidnapping to pressure Sora. He is the one who revealed that the organization was using Sora's Keyblade to gather hearts. He is cold, distant, and cruel. His boss fight is built around rage. Saïx draws power from the moon-shaped Kingdom Hearts above the castle. He fights with a massive claymore and enters a berserk state, moving wildly across the battlefield with huge shockwave attacks. When his berserk gauge fills, he becomes extremely dangerous. Sora has to survive his attacks and use the claymores Saïx leaves behind. When Saïx drops one, Sora can grab it and use reaction commands like Eclipse and Magnastorm to break through Saïx's berserk state and force him back into a vulnerable form. The battle is intense because Saïx represents the organization at its coldest. He talks about hearts like they are things to collect. He treats Sora's pain like a tool. He uses Kairi as bait. But when Saïx is defeated, his final words reveal something sad underneath all that cruelty. He wanted a heart too. Like the other nobodies, Saïx was empty. He wanted Kingdom Hearts because he believed it could make him whole again. That does not excuse what he did, but it makes the organization's tragedy clearer. They were dangerous, manipulative, and cruel, but many of them were chasing something they believed they had lost forever. After Saïx falls, Sora and the others keep climbing toward the top of the castle. This is where the truth around Ansem the Wise reaches its climax. The man known as Diz is revealed as the real Ansem the Wise. He had been hiding behind the name Diz while seeking revenge against his former apprentice, Xehanort, and the nobodies that came from his experiments. He built the simulated Twilight Town, he used Roxas to restore Sora, and he tried to use data and control to undo the damage caused by his mistakes. At the top of the castle, Ansem the Wise attempts to use a machine to encode Kingdom Hearts as data. His plan is to contain it, analyze it, and stop Xemnas from using it. But Kingdom Hearts is too powerful. It is not something that can be fully understood or controlled by a machine. The device begins to overload. Mickey tries to stop him, but Ansem the Wise accepts what is happening. He realizes how much harm his revenge and pride have caused. He apologizes for what he did, especially to Roxas, and admits that hearts are more complex than data. Then the machine explodes. The explosion damages Kingdom Hearts and changes Riku back to his true form. For the first time in a long time, Riku no longer looks like Ansem. His real face returns. This is a major emotional victory. Riku had been ashamed of his appearance, hiding from Sora because he thought the darkness had marked him forever. But now, he is himself again. Sora, Kairi, Donald, Goofy, and Mickey can finally see him as he truly is. But Xemnas is still not finished. Xemnas stands before Kingdom Hearts and calls out to it. He wants the power of hearts for himself and for the organization's dream. But after everything that has happened, his plan is falling apart. Sora and his friends chase him to the top of the castle. Before they reach the final part, Heartless start to swarm the area. At one point, Maleficent and Pete appear. They are still villains, but they do not want Organization XIII taking the castle. Maleficent wants the castle for herself, so she and Pete stay behind to hold off the nobodies while Sora's group moves forward. It is not pure kindness. It is selfish, but it helps. Sora, Donald, Goofy, Riku, Mickey, and Kairi continue to the final area. There, Sora confronts Xemnas, the leader of Organization XIII and the nobody of Xehanort. The first battle against Xemnas begins at the top of the castle. Xemnas fights with ethereal blades, barriers, and strange attacks tied to nothingness. He traps Sora and forces him to charge up the side of Memory's skyscraper using reaction commands like Clash, Breakthrough, and Finish to reach him. The fight is dramatic because Xemnas does not fight like a wild monster. He fights like a calm ruler defending his throne. Sora defeats him, but Xemnas still refuses to fall. After the battle, it looks like the group may finally be able to leave. Naminé appears and opens a path home. Roxas and Naminé share one last moment through Sora and Kairi, showing that their bond still exists. Everyone begins to escape, but Xemnas returns and pulls Sora into one final conflict. Riku refuses to leave Sora behind. The final battle becomes Sora and Riku standing together against Xemnas. This is important because Kingdom Hearts II began with Sora searching for Riku. Now, at the end, Sora and Riku are fighting side by side. Their friendship has come full circle. Xemnas transforms the battle into a massive multi-stage final fight. Xemnas takes control of a massive dragon-like nobody machine. Sora and Riku ride a small ship through the air, dodging attacks, absorbing energy, firing lasers, and destroying parts of the dragon. The battle feels almost like a final gummy-style chase through nothingness, with Sora and Riku fighting through Xemnas' last defenses. After the dragon falls, Sora and Riku continue fighting Xemnas in another armored phase. They are thrown through the air, forced to glide back to him, and use reaction commands to return to the fight. Xemnas keeps trying to push them away, but they keep coming back. Then the true final battle begins. Xemnas appears in his final form. White and black clothing, red blades, and a calm but terrifying presence. The battlefield is empty and surreal, like Sora and Riku are fighting in a world made of pure nothingness. Xemnas attacks with fast blade combos, teleportation, energy shots, clones, and barriers. At the beginning of the fight, Sora has to use repeated reversal commands to dodge a storm of attacks before he can even land safely. This final phase is personal. No Donald, no Goofy, no Mickey, no Kairi, just Sora and Riku. Two best friends against the leader of Organization XIII. At one point, Xemnas captures Sora, and the player controls Riku. Riku has to fight his way towards Sora while Xemnas blocks him. This moment is powerful because it turns Riku's entire journey into gameplay. He has spent the whole game helping Sora from the shadows. Now he has to physically reach him and save him. Riku uses Dark Aura to push forward, reaches Sora, and uses Rescue to free him. Then, the fight continues. Near the end, Xemnas unleashes one of the most iconic attacks in the game, a massive storm of lasers. Sora and Riku stand back to back, deflecting everything together with repeated reflect commands. It is one of the strongest visual symbols of their friendship. They are surrounded by nothingness, attacked from every direction, but they survive because they stand together. Finally, Sora and Riku land the final blow. Xemnas is defeated. Organization XIII's plan falls apart. Their artificial Kingdom Hearts is gone. The world that never was begins to fade as the final battle ends. But Sora and Riku do not return home immediately. Instead, they end up in a quiet, dark place near the ocean, the realm of darkness. After all the fighting, after all the chaos, the ending becomes quiet. Sora and Riku walk along the dark shore, exhausted. Riku is injured, and for once, the two of them are not rushing into another battle. They just talk. Riku admits that he always felt jealous of Sora because Sora followed his heart so naturally. Sora admits that he was jealous of Riku too, because Riku was always strong and cool in his eyes. This conversation is important because it shows how much they have grown. They are no longer hiding behind rivalry, pride, or fear. They are honest with each other. For a moment, they accept that maybe the realm of darkness is where they will stay. But then, a bottle washes onto the shore. Inside is Kairi's letter. Sora reads it, and the words connect back to everything the series has always been about. Even when people are separated, their hearts can reach each other. Kairi's letter becomes the light that guides Sora and Riku home. A door appears. The door to light opens. Sora and Riku step through it and return to Destiny Islands. There, Kairi, Donald, Goofy, Mickey are waiting. Sora and Riku finally come home after everything they went through. Sora returns Kairi's lucky charm, fulfilling the promise from the first game. The journey that began with separation finally ends with reunion. The world that never was is the final world of Kingdom Hearts 2, but it is more than just the organization's base. It is the place where almost every major emotional thread comes together. Sora finally confronts Roxas. Kairi reunites with Sora. Riku is revealed and restored. Roxas and Naminé accept their place inside Sora and Kairi. Luxord and Sayax fall. Ansem the Wise faces the consequences of his revenge. Xemnas is defeated, and Sora and Riku finally fight side by side as true friends. This world is about nothingness, but the ending proves the opposite. The organization believed they had no hearts. They believed they needed Kingdom Hearts to become whole. But throughout the journey, Kingdom Hearts 2 shows that bonds, memories, friendship, and sacrifice can exist even in beings who were told they were empty. Roxas cared, Naminé cared, Axel cared. And in the end, Sora's greatest strength was not just the Keyblade, it was the connections he carried with him. By the time Sora and Riku return to Destiny Islands, Kingdom Hearts 2 completes its biggest emotional promise. The friends who were separated are together again. The organization is defeated, and Sora's journey through darkness ends at the place where it all began, home. But Kingdom Hearts 2 has one more important ending moment. Sora, Riku, and Kairi receive a letter from King Mickey. The contents are not fully revealed in the original ending, but it sets up the next chapter of the story. Even after everything they have been through, another journey is waiting. That is the complete story of Kingdom Hearts 2. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and turn on the bell for notifications. See you in the next one.